With this example, we're going to use Snell's law. It's a really important law when we talk about optics, so please make sure you practice this and that you understand it. And the biggest trick to this is realizing what's incident and what's refracting. So in this case, we have a light beam in air going into crown glass. So your incidence material is air, and your refraction material is glass. Just to keep that straight in your head. So we know that the index of refraction for air is 1.00. We know that it's really like 1.003, but we're just going to keep it to 3 significant figures like I asked. And we know that the index of refraction for crown glass is 1.52. And it's hitting the sheet of glass at an angle of 30 degrees. So that is the angle of incidence. And it's asking you to solve for the angle of refraction. So even if you're not 100% sure that was incidence, if you keep reading, you're solving for angle of refraction, so the first one has to be incidence angle. Snell's law tells us that the index of incidence times the sine of the angle of incidence equals to the index of refraction times the sine of the angle of refraction. A lot of times you will see this written with an I left off, because I would say 80% of the cases we're going to do, the incidence material is air and an I is 1, so you don't use it. But I'm always going to put it on here just so that in the cases that we use where it's not air, we realize that there is a number there and we have to put it in. Or we'll just rearrange it to solve for the sine of the angle of refraction right now. We have so we can plug in 1 times the sine of 30 degrees. Make sure that your calculator's in degrees, otherwise you will not get the right answers. Divided by 1.52. So we get the sine of theta r is equal to 0.3289 and some more. And if we do the inverse sine to both sides, then we get that theta r, when we round to 3 significant figures, is 19.2 degrees. This math is relatively straightforward as long as you're using degrees and you understand, again, what's the starting material and what's the ending material. Please do the practice problems in the link below and let me know if you have questions. If you are consistently not getting the right answer, you need to get some help before you start doing the work on this. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of mistakes. And then you're just going to have to do it all over again and correct your mistakes.